rendered powerless by alcohol's spell. Once the Lord Buddha was passing through an area called Bhadawatika. On the way, he met with some travellers coming in the opposite direction. Out of concern for the Buddha, they warned him not to go any further towards Ambatita, because at a hermitage there was a Naga serpent called Ambatitaka, which had great powers and was highly dangerous. Because the serpent was a false view, it would certainly harm the Buddha. The Buddha ignored their advice, however, even though they pleaded with him 3 times not to go. The monastic community set up camp in a forest not far from the hermitage of Ambititaka, and they elected that the Buddha's attendant, a monk called Sagata Tira, who was not yet enlightened, but who was endowed with miraculous mental powers, should be the one to deal with the serpent. The elder entered the lair of the serpent and laid down a pile of grass, covered it with a mat, and sat there cross-legged for meditation. The fierce serpent saw the monk meditating and was annoyed. Those who are arrogant normally cannot bear to see others doing good deeds. Rather like looking too long at the sun causes one's eyes to water. The serpent was no exception. It took the monk's meditation as provocation and came out to confront the monk. The serpent breathed smoke over the monk. The monk was ready for the confrontation and deflected the smoke so that it engulfed the serpent. When the serpent saw that the smoke had had no effect on the monk, it changed to breathing fire over the monk. Normally, anyone touched by the flames would be burned instantly to cinders, except for those with exceptional mental powers. The monk used his powers again to deflect the fire back at the serpent, until the serpent couldn't bear the heat anymore. The serpent felt exhausted and turned back into a normal snake, so embarrassed about not being able to conquer the monk that it started to lose some of its arrogance. Before it had been so arrogant it wouldn't listen to reasoning, but now it was more ready to listen. The monk gave the serpent a preaching and made it take the triple refuge and the precepts. The monk returned to the monastic community, and the serpent, now of right view, returned discomfited to its hermitage. The Lord Buddha remained at Bhadawatika a few more days, and then continued towards Kosambi with his community. The tale of Sagata Tira's heroic deeds went before him, and citizens of Kosambi lined up at the roadside to greet the Buddha, Sagata, and the rest of the monastic community. Having received the Buddha, many of the faithful went to visit the heroic Sagata Tira, who had overcome the mighty serpent by his mental powers. They had so much faith in the amazing deeds of the monk that they wanted to offer him something special. They said that he could request anything at all from them. Sagata Tira just smiled and didn't say anything in reply to the offer. However, there was a group of monks known as the Group of Six, who were renowned for being the precedents for breaches of the monastic discipline. They were always finding new ways to break the precepts, making it necessary for the Buddha to have to lay down new regulations for the monks the whole of the time. The group of 6 said to themselves, "We are monks like Siddhartha, but we don't have magical powers like him. Let's play a trick on Siddhartha and have some fun." They persuaded the citizens of the town to offer red liquor to Siddhartha, something he had never tasted before. They praised the offering of alcohol to Siddhartha, saying that it would be special merit for those citizens. They said it would be an ever more special merit to offer this rare substance to such an exceptional personage as Siddhartha Thera, especially when red alcohol is the most delicious drink you can find. The faithful asked, "Is that so? We've never heard that before." "Well, now you've heard it from us," said the group of 6. Well, the citizens believed those monks and were excited to have a new sort of merit to perform. They got their alcohol ready and waited for the opportunity to offer it to Siddhartha. Siddhartha ordained early in life and had never learned about the characteristics of alcohol, and had certainly never drunk any before. The next morning, Siddhartha went on alms round as usual, and when he opened the lid of his bowl, the faithful were quick to fill his bowl with the best red alcohol they could find. The devotees were so proud to have found such a special substance to offer this heroic monk who had overcome the serpent. Siddhartha didn't pay any interest to the contents of his bowl. He had no idea what the substance was. He received everything and anything from all comers. He was certain that the almsgivers would be responsible in the gifts they gave. If it wasn't proper, they would never offer it. Having finished his alms round, he sat down to eat the food in the bowl. He had no idea there was alcohol in the bowl. However, whether you know it is alcohol or not, if you drink it, it makes you drunk. Siddhartha's graceful deportment was reduced to staggering dizzily. He had a strange, warm feeling in the stomach, and he collapsed at the city gate and lay there semi-conscious, murmuring about what such a delicious drink could be. He mumbled incomprehensible nonsense. Once the Buddha had finished his alms round, he returned through the city gate, seeing Siddhartha laying on the ground. The Buddha had 2 other monks help Siddhartha back to the temple. When they arrived back at the temple, the monks laid Siddhartha down with his head pointing towards the Buddha, out of respect for the Buddha. However, as soon as they let go of him, he wriggled, turning himself around so that his feet pointed at Buddha, the height of bad manners. The Buddha said nothing but asked the monks, "Does Siddhartha still have respect towards the Buddha or not?" The monks replied, "He has no remaining respect, sir." The Buddha continued, "O monks, who was the monk so powerful that he could subdue the serpent Ambititaka